The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
This is George.
Hey George, it's Al Hendershot. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Oh man, I cannot complain one bit. George is finally starting to cool off, and weather's looking great here in Alabama.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
It's great to hear. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, let me ask you, man. Going back to that conference call that you had with us, were you able to talk to the congressman about it, or what?
Yeah, I did talk with him about it briefly.
What did he say?
He just for doing that. We didn't really go into it after that. So.
Is there a reason why, or is it just that it's something that he was not going to be interested in, or?
No, but we've got some other things going on. They needed his attention at the time when I was talking with him, so I hadn't really broken the issue down too much for him, other than our conversation after that. So, just haven't had a chance to really get with him on it. So, but I mean, it remains something that he's aware of, and
the bogus Social Security number, or him not, I mean, it's not him not owning the house in Chicago, but the real estate fraud.
Right.
The tax fraud associated with it. Him lying on his senatorial, paperwork. And I mean, I just wanted to, because
really, what I think someone outside of here, someone in the public domain, and needs this, really kind of needs to file a complaint with the Senate Ethics Committee. That's probably something that, Corsi or someone should do. File a complaint over there. If you can get that moving on the real estate thing.
So is there really nothing? There's nothing that the congressman can do?
Well, there's nothing I can do right now. I mean, I just haven't really gotten into the issue with him in total, and he hasn't given me anything to do. So. On it. So I I listened to the call, I told him what it was about, and he said, thank you, appreciate you doing that for me, and, that was really it, So,
okay. Well, let me ask a question. I mean, do you think it's, or do you just think it's, I mean, I'm not trying to, on the spot, but, just guy to guy, just you to me. I mean, what did you think about it?
What do I think about it? I think there's something wrong there. Personally, I mean, I think that there's something wrong there. With respect to what they were doing.
Yes, sir.
I do. I mean, I think that there's something obviously not right with it. I mean, and anyone who looks at it could probably deduce the same thing. I mean, I've called down to Government Reform Committee. I haven't gotten a call back from them on it. So, I mean, I just, I'm working too, but, I mean, I do. I mean, I think there's something wrong with it, I really think that there's something wrong with his, real estate transaction. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, to be honest with you,
it doesn't make, I asked about this, and their response to me, well, if there was something really wrong with him, I mean, he's got lawyers, so don't you think that they iron this out beforehand and know what they're doing? And I'm just like, well, but you say that, and it's like, well, doesn't Charlie Rangel have lawyers?
Yeah.
Didn't he know what he was, he's the chairman of the tax committee. He didn't know what he was doing? I mean, he can say, Senator Dodd has lawyers. Didn't they know what they were doing, with the VIP treatment? I mean, so it remains an issue, and we're still curious about it. But, I don't know what he wants to do with it yet, so I don't know where he's going to go with it, so.
So basically, there's really...
It's informative to see what you're talking about, You read the stuff on the internet, you don't know, you participate in one of these things, and you see what it is firsthand that it is that you're talking about, So, he's interested in the issue, but I don't have an answer for you right now. That's the best I can do.
But as long as, but yeah, but you still saw the inconsistency with his Social Security number.
Right, I saw all that. You know, I saw it.
Saw
I
the
know what I saw.
inconsistency with his home in Chicago. You know, basically, the home that he doesn't own.
Yeah, and I just think that's really how they do that, and I don't understand it at all how they get away with that, and how that gets past how that got past the Senate Ethics. I'm not an expert in that stuff. I don't know I don't know everything there is to know about what he put together there.
God, I wish I was an expert, George, to be honest with you, because that's the whole thing. I mean, in my line of work, I mean, I see that stuff all the time, and it's so easy, you know, to tell these people, either you fix that or there's going to be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get it taken care of in 2 seconds. I mean, because that buffer zone, that Resco lot, was not taxed or assessed. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I went through the FOIA, okay, the Federal Information Request Act, and the Office of, what was it called? It's the FOIA. And through the Freedom of Information Act, I actually got the paperwork back from Cook County.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got about 100 and some odd pieces of paper back from Cook County. And the last assessment that was done for zone, there were no dollar amounts posted on it. Nothing. The PIN number that they told me, Cook County, that they transferred that buffer zone to, that the $104,000 lot. So basically the $104,000 lot was never properly taxed or assessed through using transfer taxes. Okay, and the people at Cook told me that it's not, a transfer tax does not negate the fact of having a piece of property properly assessed or taxed. Okay, and this is, my conversation with Cook County with the Cook County Assessor's Office, and so that property was actually transferred without ever being, there it is, real estate and tax, and it's something that Obama did not report on his financial reporting that they're supposed to do in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
But which I got a copy of that too, but it's just one of those things that.
Well, you need to get with someone and file that stuff, a complaint. You get with Corsi and see if you can get him to file get someone to file from the outside to file a complaint with the Senate Ethics Committee.
So wait a minute, you guys can't do that? It has to be somebody from the outside.
It's better when it comes from the public.
Oh, not from somebody, because then it looks political when it's coming from the inside.
Right. When I needs to do that.
Well, how do I file the complaint with the Senate Ethics Committee?
You just call them and say, look, I want to file a complaint about something. It's not, how do I do that? I wouldn't do it personally. I would get with Corsi and see if there's a group that would do it. I would recommend anyway. See if there's like a, one of these, I don't know, Landmark Legal or one of these groups that might file it.
So basically,
that's what I would recommend, though. I mean, that's the way you're going to get the most. That's the way you're going to get the information in. If just one person does it, maybe not. But if if you go to a group and they say, look, can you help me do this? This is ridiculous, and they might want to do it, and then suddenly there's the group there that's filing it, and then the committee's got to answer to a group.
I'm going to ask you
just one person.
Question. I'm going to ask you a dumb question. So basically the people, and I'm not saying Bill Posey. Okay, I'm not saying him. I'm just using this as a generality. I mean, so the information that I showed you, through the databases, all the inconsistencies and stuff like that, are the people in Congress not wanting to pursue those matters because it would look too political for them?
Well, I mean, just between me and you, right? There are several things here, right? One is, it looks political. Two, a lot of the members, most of them anyway, don't want to get into the issue because it's a non-starter with the media. You start talking about it in any form, and you get character assassinated by most of the media. And at the end of the day, you're not going to get any answers out of the White House. And you got dragged through the mud and, got made a laughingstock, and it really wasn't worth the headache. You didn't solve anything. because the media will rather than investigate it, they will laugh at you. Them doing that, none of the other appropriate committees will actually answer the question because, it's a laughingstock issue and no one wants to get into it. Get any answers? Then the White House doesn't have to answer anything, because why? Why should I answer it? Media's laughing at you. They don't care about me. So it's a not like it's more headache than it's worth. For what? We didn't get anything out of it. We didn't get any answers out of it. We didn't get the truth out of it. All I got was, character assassinated for 2 weeks.
That's what they're trying to avoid. I mean,
and it's not even I'm trying to avoid taking on a tough issue. At the end of the day, you look at it and like, well, I didn't get any answers out of this. I got my name dragged through the mud, and I'm back at where I started from. Actually, negative because I went through this whole ordeal and I didn't get anything out of it. In terms of the truth. That's you look at it that way, and you're like, well, geez, I could spend my time working on another way to beat this guy.
Well, I mean, you're being the devil's advocate, okay? I mean, and a good one at that, okay? Because at least you're being honest with me.
Well, this is coming from a guy who's dealt with this for 2.5 years, and I got a wall next to my desk from banging my head against it. So, I'm not trying to not do this or stop anyone from trying to get the truth, because I'd like the truth too. I'm just telling you that the reality of the situation is, as I have discovered it to be, is that, they look at this and they say, well, you know what, this is more trouble than it's actually worth, and we can just beat this guy on another issue and get rid of him,
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.